2017. We're back.
Okay, we're back.
Another action. Hopefully you heard my voice there. I didn't hear myself there, but welcome back everyone to blade&soul World 2017. We're back with match 3. We're gonna get to the losers matches before we move on to Group B. We're gonna get the two losers, basically.
Team Thankyou versus
BasiliskTime.
Yep.
So we're gonna get a little bit of Taiwan representation along with the Japanese representation to face off in Game 3 of our day. So. We saw two matches so far. We saw the Taiwanese mirror, that they're very familiar with each other probably, but we saw the Japanese versus the Chinese team. Definitely saw the difference in the play styles of what they bring to the table with regardless of the meta, they just really play their own style. What did you see the difference between those two regions?
Well, like, you know, some regions may have the offensive or the aggressive plays, and some may have the calculative, you know, the passive aggressive or the passive play style. But regardless, today is the first day, and this is the losers match. So if you lose from the losers match, it basically means on the first day you place last in your group, and you don't want to do that. And you know, Taiwan versus Japan, neither of the teams would want to place last, so they have to give it all regardless of what playstyle they have. They have to adapt right on the spot to beat the opponent to not place last.
And as you were speaking of the Korean teams really adjusting their playstyle depending on different situations, they sometimes go a little bit early with defensive and more calculative style in the beginning parts of the series, but once they get to the later 6 and Game 7s, they just go hyper aggressive like we saw from the Chinese and the Taiwanese team. So you have to be a little bit adjusting when it comes to blade&soul, because depending on how many matches you are facing in the series, you can really make those adjustments for the favor for your team. So Japan versus really Taiwan is going to be the next match up, and we saw Japan being a little bit more passive and trying to take their time to see their opportunities through, whereas definitely Taiwan is very similar to China, where they go really hyper aggressive from the get-go and really stay that way until the very end of the game. So we'll see how those two differences really play a match at this time.
Yeah, and the reason I mentioned about the adapting to the opponent's playstyle is because I'm pretty sure these teams, BasiliskTime and Thankyou, they saw each other's plays in the waiting room for the the players' waiting room. They have a TV, broadcasting this that you guys are seeing right now. So I'm pretty sure they were thinking, this team plays this way, so we'll have to just to play against them like this. So I hope they prepared in that short time, came up with a good strategy to go up against each other.
And it's a very interesting thing that we always have to talk about with these two teams, is that BasiliskTime, we saw Nanako Takahashi being the first female player to ever play in World 2017. We like to mention that again. She did make the history of that, but she did lose out on the actual series, but she would like to actually get a win for her team this time around. But like I said, you didn't come all the way to Korea to play in World 2017 to become last place in your group. So nobody really wants that. So both teams really wanting to win right here.
Yeah, and being able to adapt and change your team's playstyle, not just yours, but your whole team's playstyle, it comes from experience. And now, in this losers match, even though it is a losers match, they already know each other's plays. They've seen the first games of their opponents. So now this match, the winner and the loser, it will determine which team has a little more experience or who is more team composed to see, they'll be able to win. The team with more team play, the teamwork, and the experience will definitely win out this last set of this Group A.
And you see right here, what they had to do to get here was they lost to Pengandi 3-1 in the end after winning one single and losing on that tag match. That was a difference between those two Taiwanese teams, and now we see Thankyou on this losers bracket having to go up against BasiliskTime from Japan. And regardless of what the results may be, they are the top teams from their respective regions. And BasiliskTime, one of the top teams from Japan, also with Thankyou being one of the top teams in Taiwan as well. It's going to be very sure thing that they have a lot of confidence coming in, but it has to lead to the actual results. And we're going to see Nanako Takahashi on the Warlock. She comes out on many of the singles, and I think the team has a lot of confidence in her that she will produce the goods. And really sending her out once again, this time against the Summoner. It's going to be on the other side of the team.
Woo and Bin on the Summoner. He also came out for the singles in the first matchup versus Thankyou versus Pengandi. So we'll have to see the two players from each region, coming out in singles over and over again to produce the goods. And the music has changed, and we are ready for our first set. Let's get it on.
Here we go for game one of this losers match between BasiliskTime and Thankyou9527. See Nanako.
It's funny when you say the long number.
It is.
Sounds like a phone number.
Hey, I want to ask them later on what that really the intention of those numbers mean. I'm sure they have a meaning behind 9527. Those are very random. Probably what I would highly doubt. Either way, the Warlock versus Summoner is our first matchup, but Nanako getting the beating from Wuyambin. On the Summoner, like we said, Summoner requires opportunities to put in damage, and playing Wuyambin got the damage there, so.
Yep, there we go. The Summoner is playing very aggressive right now. He is forcing Nanako to back off. She already used the body swap, and she's now, fighting with the cat, but it's not,
man.
Keep your distance, Nanako. Now she finally used her tab escape too. Now she's out of all of her escapes.
So Nanako Takahashi, very dangerous situation now against Wuyambin because there's so much damage that can be done from the Summoner and the cat, but very easy one. Going for the Taiwanese side, and they pick up that first point in this best of 4. Going into game 2, Nanako seems very confused to say the least. Yeah, seems to be angry, but trying to figure out her emotion every time.
She's not angry. I'm pretty sure she's not angry. That face is not the angry face.
I don't know. I don't know her too well to really read her emotions in her face.
It just seems as if the familiar, the thrall versus the cat. The cat may be stronger. Don't get fooled by the size.
And Wuyambin really made things work from the beginning of the game. Look at that, putting out so much damage in the first 30 seconds of the game. Only having to use the time distortion to get the Summoners back, but just everything about this is really the difference maker between those two sides. Because, like you said, the familiars coming from the Warlock and also the Cat, also assisting you from the Summoner. You have to really be able to control these two matters very well to make it work, but it seems like Wuyambin did the better part of that this time around.
Yeah, exactly. And as a Warlock, she when she had the familiar out or the thrall is out, she should have focused on the Summoner itself. But unfortunately, she was unable to do that because she was so busy dodging all that sunflower, so she didn't want to take the damage. So basically, the Summoner played super aggressive, and Nanako tried to go as aggressive as the Summoner, but it did not play on her side, and now we are getting ready for the second matchup.
The second match brings out Chao Xiaoye that we haven't seen throughout the singles in the last series. We only saw him in the tag and a very glimpse of what he can do, but he's back out. Xiaoye is going to be the second man out for Team Thankyou, and BasiliskTime decides to bring out, I believe, Yutaka Matsubushi on the Assassin. Gonna be the one next out. So Yutaka, we've seen many of him, and we've seen him throughout the tags and also the single. He did pretty well, but they can continue on with this. We're gonna find out in game 2 whether it's BasiliskTime picking up a 1 point to make it even, or whether it's gonna be Thankyou getting out that 2-0 victory, going towards the next phase. We're gonna have to find out. Let's get on. The second match between BasiliskTime and Thankyou does begin with currently Thankyou9527 leading out 1-0. Let's see, Yahweh.
Yep.
It's gonna be holding up the Blade Master against Yutaka's Assassin.
Yeah, let's hope that Yutaka got used to the ping and he does not miss the back row chases this time around, because he is the one that almost had the victory against the Chinese team if he landed that.
Woo! And really, Yahweh doesn't use the tab escape for now, but taking a lot of damage. Now he uses it, but already having taken 70% of damage before he does. Blade Master.
Well, he's seen the Korean players play. He's trying to take out as many CCs as possible, but he did take, a lot of damage. but now he's making his move. All right, there we go.
Now remember, Yutaka still has his stealth available, so he can still get out of a very dangerous situation, which he should now. Yes, he does.
There we go. He is blinded.
Yeah, and the stun does
make a
come
move.
off.
There
5
we go.
seconds. Will
It's
it be
an
enough
aerial.
to finish him off?
It is over.
The webbing is going to be down. He does have the second win
Oh,
now.
no.
Will it be enough time to go for it? He
There we
does
go.
use it, yes.
But he dodges that tab knockback, the second win knockback. So it's very good for the assassin, because if he got knocked back, he would have been dead.
Another stun will be.
Oh!
The assassin putting up, but it's going to be the Blade Master Yahweh picking out the second win. And now it is 2-0. Very pitiful of Yutaka to not be able to finish that off. He was very, very close near the end of the game.
Yeah, very unfortunate, but I don't know if they are communicating, even though in singles, usually at that moment when Yutaka had him webbed up, there was still around 3 seconds left until that tab escape came back. But Yutaka probably thought that the tab escape already came back for that, miscalculation of few seconds. If he knew that there was still 3 seconds, he would have had the win, putting him down from the web and just, doing the damage, because there was only like 5 to 10% left on that Blade Master's health when he was webbed. But unfortunately, Yutaka backed off, being afraid that his second win was back. And it's very unfortunate for Yutaka.
But on the other end, Yahweh did a very good job of sticking to the very end. Yeah, right there, you actually mentioned 3, 2, 1 is what we got with that timer. We know it definitely when we saw this, we see the screen, but very difficult for the player to calculate every single second of that 35 second or so of cooldown. But really, Yahweh really stuck to the end and had the counter punch to finish him off, and suddenly they are 2-0 up now. BasiliskTime in this very similar situation they had in the previous series where they were down 2-0. They had to win out the tag to get us into game 4. Hopefully they can do it again to see how they will really face. But if they do lose out in game 3 coming up, they will be the last match of Group A, and they will turn out in the last place, but they really don't want that.
Yeah, and let's hope that they are able to win this tag like they did last time, and stay in the tournament and go for that last 4th matchup. And here we go with the matchups again. We have the Assassin, Force Master, and Warlock on the Japanese side, Destroyer, Blade Master, and the Summoner on the Taiwan side.
And definitely composition-wise, a little more common towards the Taiwanese side, having that little bit of stability with the Destroyer, being able to kind of support your teammates with the Summoner and all that. But just everything about the Taiwanese team just seems more stable than a very unconventional meta that Japanese team are playing with BasiliskTime. They have the Assassin and the Force Master and the Warlock, and it's a little bit less common in terms of composition of what they can synergize together, but we'll have to see how they do.
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure they've practiced with this composition, which is why they are coming out with these compositions. And like you said, Joel, let's get on with this tag match, see how they work against each other and work together. Let's get it on.
Here we go for game 3, which could end it all for BasiliskTime if they cannot pick out a win here. And Yan Bin of the Summoner has been on work the entire. There we go for the Super Sky again.
Oh, the bombard damage, the early damage that Yutaka is putting out is very good. He has to continue that, keep that momentum. But it seems as if he gets a little shaky from mid to late game.
Yeah,
he has to keep that calm until the end.
Despite the early damage, the Summoner has enough heals to heal himself right back up to full health. Now Yutaka taking the damage from the interfere coming in. The reaction 2v2 did happen that time around.
Yeah, and the time distortion giving Yutaka all of his escapes back. Very good. Now he has to make his move, force that at least another interfere or a tag out by the Taiwanese team.
Yeah. And really, Yutaka, like you mentioned, he's always had the early damage, which he does now once again. But it's all about the consistent damage that he has to continue out with. But Cat constantly bothering him, really avoiding him from doing any type of work.
Yep. And the tab escape is already out, almost back already.
10 seconds,
Even though he got it back from the time distortion, he used it once again Now 7 seconds until it gets back. Oh,
There
a
you
lot
go,
of damage.
Yutaka, a lot
There
of
we go,
damage.
forcing out that defensive interfere.
Ooh,
Reactionary 2v2.
Yutaka taking a lot of damage from that reaction 2v2, but it's gonna be actually Thankyou using that first attack point of the match and brings out Dongshuan. What a destroyer.
Yep. Ooh, the smash lands. Yutaka, 10 seconds left. Will he be able to endure? Yes, he will. He has his stealth left. 5 more seconds.
But doesn't land, but now he needs to keep a safe distance for the tag in. It's very, very close right now. Now he tries to pull him in. The chase doesn't happen, so very good of him. Nanako does come back out once again. She's trying to look for the retaliation for basically the entire day where, you know, she put up some good efforts, but the result-wise was never to her favor. So trying to get a win this time around will be important for her, but
she definitely wants to prove herself because, you know, all the singles she came out, unfortunately, like you said, Joel, it did not play on her, to her side.
Yeah.
There we go with the aerial, doing a lot of damage to
Wow.
that destroyer.
Finally,
But she is
Nanako
taking
doing
so
the-
much
Whoa,
damage
no.
as well.
We thought Nanako was doing a lot of damage for the first time, but she takes an equal amount of damage on her side. Now the Blade Master is back out. Yahweh dealing damage as soon as he comes in. What's up with all these Super Sky moments from the observing side? We have to ask some questions after the game, but
Yeah, but I think there's Hancock. He's like flying up and down.
maybe. I'm not going to argue with you on that one. When it
Alright,
happens
there we
3
go.
times.
Yeah. The Force Master is in the air, but, you know, it's not too much for him because he has all of his escapes.
There you go.
There we go. Got some health back, actually.
Yahweh. Maybe not familiar with the Force Master. He just constantly attacks the frozen state of the Force Master, giving all that health back. So it's going to be saying a lot of thank you from the BasiliskTime.
All right, there we go. Forcing out that defensive interfere. Buying time, freezing himself.
Very good.
Oh, but he gets smashed.
Last 1 second was good enough to put a lot of damage from the destroyer.
All right, reaction on
here.
2v2.
The reaction 2v2 coming in. Really nothing significant happening. Just countering each other's plays, but now it's going to be the Blade Master trying to put in some damage now. Putting into the second aerial, trying to put that damage onto him, but defensive interfere comes in, negates a little bit of the damage, but most of the part, the Blade Master did a pretty good job and now forces the second tag point out of BasiliskTime, and now Nanako is back out onto the field. Oh, now the Blade Master going to work! So much damage onto the Warlock with that Dragon Tongue, but now it's going to be the Warlock Nanako putting in damage onto the aerial for Woongjin as soon as he comes in. Nanako has to be careful though. Time distortion, but still loses so much health. Having to use that second win right away after that time distortion. So Nanako has 1 tag point available. She has to use it sometime or not, because 25
She
seconds.
may have to use it very soon. Don't be too. Yeah, there we go. She uses a very good choice.
Would have been very greedy if she stuck with it.
All right, Yutaka, the one with 2 tag point is out of the field. This is a good choice on the Japanese side.
Yep, Yutaka is going to be looking very poised for what he has to do. He has to stay out on the field as long as he can, but at the same time has to do a lot of damage because on the side of BasiliskTime, very low HP bars throughout the series, but
you gotta remember, Thankyou does have that summoner healing up, as well as the destroyer heals up as, you know, pretty much.
If it does go to the TKO, that will be the difference maker. We can hope for that.
And he puts down the mine next to the cat. The cat is knocked down, but, you know, usually you want to get the double knockdown.
Right.
You know, when you're going up against a summoner, but he's getting hit one by one by that
This
sunflower.
Woongjin is doing so much work, knowing exactly what to do at every situation. Now heals himself back up almost to full health.
That's
Nothing that
the
Yutaka can do to really knock out the summoner, if not try to at least force that attack, but really nothing is happening for this guy.
Yeah, he is trying his best to do as much damage as possible. 10 more seconds until Yanbin is tagged out.
I don't know, just for after this match, I feel like GC Busan Blue, Yunjajong is going to be looking back on the summoner and say, I should play this, guys. Can you get me back on the summoner?
Yeah.
So strong right now, though, just throughout today's day 1. Summoners really making a statement for themselves.
All right, Takumi using his tab escape and getting a lot of health back.
Very good.
But, you know, there's still 4 minutes left, so, you know, getting health back is okay because, you know, you have to do as much damage as possible right now, because if there was only maybe like 1 minute left, then, you know, you want to do as much damage output. But here, right now, when there's still 4 minutes, you want to get your health back, you know, keep it stable for now.
And it is the Force Master's healing versus the Summoner's healing with a little bit of that from the Destroyer, but all in all, The healing has to be used with caution.
All right.
Thinking about if it does go to the TKO, of how will it affect the game.
All right, Force Master getting dragged in. Tab escape the knockback. The daze lands.
Oh,
Reactionary
Dongshuan
2v2.
goes up into the air. Whether they can do some damage, no, it doesn't happen right now. Kind of a pity of putting into the air, but really that defensive interfere coming in from the side of Thankyou, doing all the work of keeping him, really negating all that damage coming from him.
All right, the Force Master does not have his escape.
Wow, Yaowei doing so much damage on the Blade Master. Probably one of the best Blade Masters showing we've seen in a very long time.
Oh, the back roll chase actually worked with the block of blades.
Oh, and Takumi's in a very dangerous situation now. It's going to be the first man knocked out, and Nanako is out onto the field, but it's a very dangerous situation unless Nanako gets some damage on. But right now, Yaowei looking very safe and looking very composed in every moment of this game so far.
Yeah, Yaowei, the back roll chase into the Flock of Blades, knockback to the Dragon Tongue finish was beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautifully done. And now Nanako definitely has to get revenge for her teammate's death.
She has no tag point though. She has to somehow stay alive for the next 1 minute and 12 seconds. It's a timer on the force tag, but Yaowei is not going to allow any time towards Nanako to save that space, but Assassin Yutaka, Yutaka tried to come in with that bombard, trying to save his teammate Nanako, but
oh, the tether blade lands. The
Weeabin, it's gonna be knocked out, and the Summers suddenly is knocked off from that tag. As soon as Weeabin was tagged in, Nanako finds that space to get him into the air with enough damage to finish him off. But Nanako has to be careful with this destroyer.
Oh, she's taking damage, and she is about to
Will
get
it be
knocked
enough?
out.
And that will be enough damage to knock the second person out. And Nanako will be the second person from BasiliskTime. He knocked out, and now it's Yutaka on the Assassin. Pulling off a 1v2 is what he has to accomplish. Or else it's going to just be a 4-0 loss for these guys, but they don't really want that.
All right, this time around, the interfere gets knocked down by the landmine that Yutaka put down. Very good use of the mine. I'm pretty sure he wanted that double knockdown, but unfortunately the destroyer was spinning.
Yep. Yutaka goes up in the air now. Dongshuan, just everything that he does on the destroyer seems to be working. Landmine doesn't connect.
Close. But he does get his stealth back. He is making his move now.
He has to, because the Iron Fortress does come up for the destroyer, but otherwise Yutaka has to go in aggressively. There's no other option for him.
Ooh.
Even Yaowei on the Blade Master has to interfere if he does choose to use it. Otherwise, Yutaka, be careful. There you go. Yaowei uses that last interfere point, which he now gets back with that 1 minute mark. So a timely use of that interfere coming in from Yaowei.
All right, he is trying. Yutaka is trying his best, but he is out of stealth and he doesn't want to use that, but he has to use that last escape.
Yutaka,
one more CC,
very
he might
dangerous situation. Maybe he has to go for it all here, but it's going to be a very dangerous situation where Dongshuan on the destroyer can knock you off in an instant, and that will be it for BasiliskTime. Getting no wins in Group A. We'll head on to that last spot in the group.
Yeah, very unfortunate. One team has to be the last team.
It's true.
It's very unfortunate, but that's how a tournament is. And
She
today,
still looks not
she
that
actually
unhappy.
looks more happier than before.
She doesn't look unhappy. That's the correct term here.
Yeah, more happier. I said more happier. But anyway, yeah, she definitely doesn't look angry, at least.
I know.
Yeah. But anyways, congrats to Thankyou for not being last.
Yeah,
And BasiliskTime, I hope they practice more within the days that more days to come.
Yep.
They're not knocked out.
Definitely,
So I hope they get practice with maybe they can't do new competition because they did not register. But work on their teamwork on how to use their tag points and interfere points to save or to help out in the aggressive way in the tag matches, because I've noticed that they do come in for the reactionaries and the offensive interferes, but there was this one time they could not capitalize when there was one opponent in the air and it was a reactionary 2v2, and they got they kind of got confused on which class to focus on, and they ended up just wasting the opportunity they created. So they created an opportunity and then they just wasted it. So it was very unfortunate watching that play.
And just analyzing the opponents that BasiliskTime had to face up, it was against the Chinese and Taiwanese, very aggressive sides. But without that destroyer, any kind of stability in their composition, it didn't work out this time around. So today's result does go for that 2-loss for BasiliskTime. You see Nanako packing her stuff, but I'm sure they'll be back the next time they do face up, and we'll be back after a short break. We're going to go to Group B and to see how they do in the upcoming matches. So we'll take a short break and we'll be right back, so stay tuned with us.